everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Decision Hour. I'm your host, Adam Bird, and I got a special guest lined up for you today. I've had the privilege of calling this guy a brother, very close friend. I've known him for years, and every time I get the opportunity to talk to him, and him coming on the show is always a blessing. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on, Mr. Joe Stazione, a.k.a. Staz. Brother, how are you?
What's up? What's up, everybody?
Hey,
good, man.
Good, man. Good. Dude, the last couple of years, man, you've been running a gun, and you're all over the place, all over the country, and you're doing some great things. I mean, the last time I saw you face to face was a couple years ago. Made a big move, and you're working full time out in Texas with 22 Kill, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right. Last time we saw each other, we were doing the last Phoenix Wounded Vet Run that I participated in back in what are we in 1917 now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been out here 2.5 years in Dallas.
Nice. So first off, let's back up just a quick second. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Grew up in Cleveland, was a Marine, 4 years, 4 months, was with Security Force Detachment out of Kings Bay, Georgia, went to 3-8 out of Camp Lejeune, deployed to Okinawa, and then watched the entire war on CNN. I was a grunt, so all you guys out there that are grunts can only imagine how that felt. Came back, got out, had no clue what to do with my life, bounced around job to job. I worked in a mortgage company, worked at a gym, worked as a laborer, worked at, pumped concrete, was a carpenter, started my own business at one point. There wasn't really too much that I didn't do, just trying to find a place and where I fit and what was comfortable for me. After years and years, as a safety manager for construction companies, I did start my own business, and I also started the Infidel Nation in Phoenix and the Phoenix Wounded Vet Run, which ultimately brought me out here to Texas to work for 22 Kill.
Nice. So, in your words, what is 22 Kill?
22 Kill started off as an awareness campaign back when the first statistic was released of 22 veterans a day taking their own life. Since we have become a fully accredited HIPAA-compliant mental health nonprofit. So we provide traditional and non-traditional therapy options for veterans, first responders, and their family at no charge. We have a full staffed office between Dallas and Fort Worth with counseling staff. We're an outsource for the VA, so you can imagine what the caseload looks like for these people. My hat's off to all of our counselors. They work unbelievable hours to take care of the people that come through the door. On the non-traditional side, which makes us a little bit different, here at 22 Kill, we offer something inside of an organization that really nobody else does. We try and find different things that appeal to different people. So we offer group therapy, yoga therapy, music therapy, art therapy. Watch is one of our programs. We're Children of Heroes. It's all about the families and the children of fallen KIA military, first responders, and like we like to call White Star, the families that have been affected by suicide. We have resources and different things for the families and for the different things for the activities for the kids to bond with each other. We have an outdoor program called Forge. Forge is anything outdoors you can think of: hunting, camping, fishing, hiking, off-roading. We do helicopter hog hunts with Forge every year. And then you have my program, the Wind Therapy program. We host Learn to Ride classes through Harley Davidson Ride Academy. Anywhere in the country you are, you can call me up and I'll figure out a way to get the Harley dealership involved, and we'll pay for the class. This year is pretty epic year for us. Because of some of the things with the Wind Therapy program, we offer group rides and ride retreats. So we're sponsored by JMP Cycle, and we're going to be touring around the country with them this year. So I'm taking groups of veterans out with me, 22 total.
You're taking you're taking groups. When you say groups of veterans, like they're riding, they're on the ride, and you guys are going to different events across the country.
Yeah, so with JMP, they offered us their rally schedule, which means every big rally in the country. Anybody who's out there that's listening and knows anything about motorcycles in the motorcycle community, you got Daytona, Myrtle Beach, Laconia, Sturgis, all these rallies across the country. We felt that there was no better way to get this program out when this was offered to us rather than just go into the community and let people know what we were doing. And it's gained so much momentum over the past year at these rallies and the places that we've gone that we want to bring people out to experience this with us. So I'm taking 2 groups of 8, 1 of 6. One of the groups of 8 is going to be at Myrtle Beach. It's going to be our all-female rally. We'll have 8 female veterans with us that will ride out there, participate in the rally, work the 22 kill booth, go on rides every day. We have continued education with JMP Cycle, Progressive Suspension, and a few of the other people that are on our footprint that are going to just do basic maintenance classes, show people how to inspect their bikes and make sure everything's good for a ride. We're going to meet with different vendors and different people that we've connected with throughout the year to do different experiences. We know the guy that runs the Vanderhall corporate truck, so grab 8 vets and take a couple Vanderhalls out for a ride or whatever it is. But the cool thing about it is we all come back to our camp at night and we have dinner, and organically the booths that we have will be making money, and that'll become a competition. And whatever ride we went on with the other half of the group that day, that's going to be being talked about. So the whole basis of it is building a tribe within a community. We're a camaraderie based program, and that's where everything kind of happens. You know, a lot of people sit there and they ask me, like, how does motorcycling help with mental health and bonding and building a bond? You know as well as I do, bro, like, getting out of the military, the only thing that you want and the only thing that you really need is that brother back. You're used to sleeping next to your best friend and eating chow with them and PTing with them every single day, and you wake up that next day, the first day you're out, and nobody's there with you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, when people ask me this, it's a very easy assimilation because me and you have that bond already,
right?
That veteran bond. It doesn't matter whether you're in the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, whatever it is, something along the lines with other veterans, just the fact that you're a veteran, you have that connection. So some things have been built through hardship. Guys have seen combat in the same places. Guys have gone to boot camp in the same places and had the same people around them and, you know, bled in the same mud in certain areas. So they built a bond through hardship in the military. Well, when you get out on the road with each other, you already have a similar bond, like I said, being a veteran. Well, now you're building those bonds stronger through hardship of the road. You're going through everything together. You're going through the weather conditions together. You're going through the bike breakdowns together. You're going through the road conditions together and everything that goes along with it and in between. The agony of being on your bike for 500 to 1,000 miles in a day. You're going through that together. So that's building that bond. That's something that is talked about. So we're building this community within a community, a tribe within a community across the country, in the hopes that when we put somebody through Learn to Ride in middle of nowhere, Maine, that I can release that individual into the, you know, introduce him to the rest of his life on a motorcycle with a community that surrounds him.
Freaking love it. I love it. And those of you that are listening to the show right now, that means you're already online. Open up another browser. Go to www.22kill. That's 22kill.com. And check out their great programs and whatnot. And if you click on their wind therapy, that's the one that Joe is in charge of and what we're talking about right now. If you've never been on a motorcycle, it is, I would say it's therapeutic. I had a bike for many years, and every time I got on it, it was therapy for me. It was just going out on the open road. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, bikes are dangerous." Well, so is walking across the street if you're not looking both ways. You know, whatever. It's it really is something that is very what's the word I'm looking for? Freeing. You know, you have it's like you're it's almost like you're on a cloud. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just if you're wanting to learn how to ride, then I strongly encourage you that are listening to reach out to Joe. His email, you shoot Joe an email at joe@22kill.com. Because I think what you're doing, bro, is great. And I'm very proud of you. And I'm not just saying that because I'm your friend. I'm saying that because I mean it. I've known you for a minute. And I've watched you transpire over the years and put this stuff together, and you're one of the hardest working guys I know. And I think it's really special what you're doing with this program.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. A lot of, it's crazy because you do all this stuff and you don't think anybody's watching,
Yeah.
and you go to these different places and you're new on the scene, and the motorcycle community is an awesome place because the whole community was built on loyalty and trust.
Yeah.
Your word.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's still one of the only places in the entire world that it's one of the only communities that still exists in the world that runs like that. And the people that surround themselves with the motorcycle community, that's the way that they live. That's their lifestyle. We're up in Sturgis. This is one of my favorite stories from last year. We're up in Sturgis, and I mean, none of you people can see me out there on the air, but I'm 5'9". I weigh about 235 pounds. I have a 6-inch long mohawk and tattoos all over me. And I walk into the tax office with my paperwork already done up, and everybody's scrambling around me. And this little old lady walks up to me, white hair, probably about chin height to me, and she looks at me and she's like, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here to file." She goes, "Well, sit down on one of the computers." I said, "No, ma'am." I said, "I already have everything all handled." And she kind of looked at me sideways and not expecting that. And she looks at the paper and she goes, 22 kill. She goes, she folds the paper in half and she puts it under her arm and she crosses her arms and she looks at me and she goes, "I've seen your truck driving up and down the street. I've seen you riding that awesome bike that you guys are raffling off. I've seen hundreds of people wearing your merch, and everybody in town is talking about you. You need to tell me about 22 kill."
Nice.
And I sat there and I told her everything. I told her how we started with the push-ups and everything, and I told her what the ring meant, and everything that we were doing up there in Sturgis and what we were doing with the motorcycle community. And she starts crying, and it hit me. But then she takes me over to the next person, and like I said, you don't think anybody's watching. And I hand the lady my paperwork, and there's 6 girls in the back of this office collecting money. And she looks at me and she looks at the paper and she goes, 22 kill. We've been waiting for you to come in. And every person in that office turned around and they looked at me. And, she said the same thing. She's like, "Everybody in town's talking about you." She's like, "We looked you guys up on the internet. You're a cause that's near and dear to our hearts here in Sturgis. Yeah. And we thank you for being up here." It's times like that when you really realize that you're doing something that makes an impact on more than just a couple of people.
You folks, those of you that aren't in the biker community or whatnot, I think this needs to be said. A lot of people think bikers like, oh, they're this or that, or it's some gang or something like that. It's not that at all. Sure, you probably have some groups like that, but you got some bad seeds in your corporate office too. Just go look. I'm sure you people know who the people are. The thing that they're doing, and if you've never been to Sturgis, let me tell you something. I was in Sturgis when I was still in the military with the National Guard, and I was up there about a week before the rally started, and it got crazy. I mean, you're talking about a town of like 12, maybe 1,500 people that for an entire week, the population goes up to almost 1 million people. You're talking well over 500,000 people for a week. I mean, the town makes their entire yearly income in that 1 week of the rally. And Joe mentioned something about these rings. And you guys can't see it right now, but I have it's a black kind of a tungsten ring that I wear, and you wear it on your trigger finger. And I got this. I actually bought this from Joe several years ago. And you see in some of my pictures on social media and stuff, I wear this very often to events and whatnot. And it is an attention getter because people ask, "Hey, what's that ring?" And most people already know, like, "Hey, that's a 22 kill ring." It's amazing because you don't, unless you're following them, some people don't always see them. But now, as Joe's explaining to you, when they're going places, 22 Kill is a very big organization that's getting a lot of attention, and it's only going to get bigger. I mean, somebody has awoken the beast, and this thing is a beast, and it is awesome with what they are doing for the veteran, for our heroes community. So make sure you check them out. www.22kill.com. So,
that's something you just said right there. Like, we're a big organization. It's funny because there's only 25 of us that work here.
Right.
Between counseling staff and our people that run our non-traditional programs, our day-to-day, our finances, everybody front door to back, there's only 25 people that run this organization. And
it's 25 that act like there's 250 because of all the stuff that you guys put in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's truly amazing what you guys are doing over there, man. It really is. And I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I know you personally, so for me it's not much a surprise anymore. I was like, I'll see Joe on social. Yeah, not surprised. Doing something else, getting that done. That's what he does. That's what he does. Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit, like, what do you guys got coming up later this year? I mean, it's beginning of the year. You're talking a little bit about these rides and stuff like that. Let me back up a second. People who are listening right now that want to get involved in wind therapy, what do they need to do? Is there a qualification, or how do they get involved with wind therapy?
So we have a Facebook post that's going to be released within the next day or so about our rallies and picking the vets. I'm looking for 22 veterans across the country. Like I said before, I'm doing a group of 8, a group of 6 males, and I'm doing a full group of 8 females. So 22 veterans to come to the rallies with us. That's one. If they want to get involved in the classes, the learn to ride classes, they can email me at joe@22kill.com, and I can answer any questions they have and start pointing them in a direction and start doing some networking with their dealerships in their area. If you're at any of these rallies, find us. My camp is open. I want the campground to kick me out for having too many veterans that are hanging out with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want this community so big that I can do exactly what I said before and put somebody through a learn to ride class that's never ridden a motorcycle in their entire life and release them out into the public, into a group of people that is the best community ever. And I want that to grow through doing what we're doing. So if you're out there, if you're in Daytona, Myrtle Beach, Laconia, Sturgis, we'll be in Phoenix, and a couple of other rallies along the way. If you see me, any of the 22 Kill staff, 22 Kill shirts, grab somebody and ask them where they got the shirt. Ask them where we're at. Come hang out at the booth. Come kick it at the camp. Come tell your story, because I want to know why you ride. I want to know why for 80 years now, the city of Sturgis has blown up to hundreds of thousands of 1 million people because motorcycles are a thing.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And you got to, again, if you haven't been to one of these events, you're missing out. I mean, it's something that I'm grateful for that I got to experience back in my day. Let me ask you something. Riding the motorcycles, there's a lot of different types of motorcycles. Do they have to ride a specific motorcycle to do this?
No, I don't care. I don't care what you ride. American, foreign, street bike, cruiser, just come out and hang out. It's all about 2 wheels. It's all about the wind in your face, or 3. It's all about the wind in your face and building a bond with your brother.
So
there's too much hate, man.
Oh yeah.
There's too much hate around. And especially in this community, just like you said before, people look at us and it doesn't matter what you wear. You're going to be looked at as a person, as one of the members of Sons of Anarchy. Plain and simple, because of everybody out there driving a car or anything else, they see somebody ride by or rip by on a bike, and that guy he's a degenerate biker.
Yeah.
Let's make a different face for that. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to see, you know how I look, bro. Like, I walk into a place and people take me at face value until I open my mouth, and it's hilarious. It makes me laugh every time. That's the point of it.
I got to say something real quick. Just because you brought it up. Like, every time I see Joe, I go give him a hug. I love this guy. Like, I have no shame in admitting I love Joe. When I first met him, I'm like, look at this mother. Like, I do not want to get caught in a dark alley with, like, I'm a big guy. You know, like, I'm 6'2", 260. Like, I can hold my own. And Joe looked like, you know, and him only being 5'9", 5'10", he come up mid-chest. He's still a brother that I look like I do not want to mess with in a dark alley. Like, this guy looked kind of rough. And then he opens his mouth, and you're like, okay, I totally judged the book by the wrong cover on that one. Like, one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet, man. It's great. I freaking love it.
It happens, and I laugh because it's like when I was in Arizona, you know, like one thing my mom used to get on me about was I always wanted hand tattoos. Well, I got my hand tattoos, and I was sitting in a billionaire's office just kicking it with him, talking about 22 kill. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't care. Like,
and I know who you're talking about too. So that's like,
right. Well, and see, here's the deal is, and this is another thing for everybody out there listening. Like, you have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
I went years. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2003, and until 2010, when I bought my motorcycle, threw on a pair of Chucks and Dickies and a wallet chain, as cliche as that all sounds, and started ripping a motorcycle and being a free American, I didn't find myself until then.
Yeah.
You have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you have on it. It doesn't matter what you wear. It's how you present yourself and how you hold yourself. Is it in your heart? Is what you're doing every single day in your heart? Because people can read that.
Yep.
It isn't about what you look like anymore, because that's all bullshit.
Yeah. There's that saying, never judge a book by its cover, and this is probably one of the best examples right here with Joe. Like, you don't judge a book by its cover, because like I said, Joe is, and I'll vouch for Joe any day of the week, this guy is one of the hardest working and one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet in your life. And when things go awry, or when you need something, if you're not feeling right or something just isn't clicking for you, I know I can call it. We can go months without talking to each other. And if I text him, I know for a fact I'm going to get a phone call that day. Sometime that day, he'll call me, if not right away, and ask me, all right, what's up, man? What do you need to talk about? And we're talking like that. That's not only a true friend there, but that's somebody that has found his purpose and is wanting to bring some positiveness back into the world. You know, so those of you that are listening, I strongly encourage you to reach out to Joe. Go check out the website, 22kill.com. Check out their wind therapy. Check out all their programs, but definitely check out their wind therapy. And like I said, if you're looking to get into bikes and learn how to ride, this is definitely something. Let Joe help you. Brother, we're coming up on time. What else do you want to tell everybody? What should they know?
The only other thing, man, and the only thing I could leave in closing is be comfortable being uncomfortable. And I know that half the people that are going to listen to this are going to smack me, because that's what our CEO always says, Jake. But it's the truth. It's the truth, because suicide and mental health and everything else is an epidemic, but everybody's terrified to talk about it.
Right.
Be that guy. Be that guy that steps up in your community and says, I got help, or I'm going to go get help. Be that person that stands up and does that and makes everybody else feel comfortable doing that, because that's what it needs. Oh, yeah. Everybody in this country is so terrified by the fact of talking about suicide and taking your own life and everything else. Well, let me tell you something. For me, it's every day. I deal with this every day with people. So be that person. Be that bigger person in your community that stands up and is an example for everybody else.
Yeah, because you don't know what your story could do for somebody else.
Absolutely. Other than that, find me on the road and let's rip some motorbikes. That's all I want to do.
I love it, brother. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. Folks, that's all the time that we have today. Joe, thanks again, brother. Make sure, folks, you go check out 22kill.com. But before we let you go, you have to give a shout-out to our parent network, Heroes Media Group. If you're looking to become part of the HMG family, simply go to www.heroesmediagroup.com. Until next time, you've been listening to The Decision Hour.